In 2009, my unit, which was most degraded infantry battalion in the entire Marine Corps, which was 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, was called in to do humanitarian assistance operations out in the Philippines, which was Operation Quetzana. A tsunami and earthquake hit the western part of Sumatra, Padang City more specifically. This happened September 30th. We were then briefed that we were going to be armed during this operation. We again boarded CH-53 Super Stallions, which are gigantic helicopters that are roughly 100 feet long, and we flew to the southwestern part of the city, which is Padang. Most of it was decimated, on fire, rubble, flooded, you name it. We got off the bird, and what we were instructed to do at that point was to push to a high ground. We trekked up about 300 meters. I have a Panasonic camera. I was taking video camera, and I had actually turned to the north, which just kind of slopes down. And right there was something that stuck out like a sore thumb. It's always going to be basically imprisoned in my mind for the rest of my life, and it has been for 14 years, was something that was rotating. It was transitioning between colors like a light matte gray, as well as a dark matte black. Once we got down this slope, we were approximately 150 meters away from this craft. You could fit 3 of the helicopters that we flew in on underneath this craft. It was rotating a clockwise motion. On the very top, there was like a pyramid structure that you could see the shadowing of it. And it had an audible hum to it, kind of like a guitar amp if you were to unplug that, or like a transformer. It's very audible. It's very distinct. And the way that it was floating, which was about 15, 20 feet off the ground, it was kind of a very eerie thing to see because I've never seen anything like that in my life. We were then intercepted by a team of soldiers, rogue military force, if you will. The most concerning thing about this is they all had American dialects. They had American gear, something what you would see special operation groups these days have. They had no insignias on, they had no ranks, they had nothing that would signify who they were. They had M4A4s that were equipped with ACOGs, which was a step up from what we were currently issued, as well as PEC-16 IR illumination devices that you use for night vision. We had 8 of them put the drop on us. They basically started screaming at us, telling us what we were doing, we were not allowed to be there, who were we with, what were we doing there, threatened that they could kill us right then and there. We could get lost in the jungle. They could throw us out of a helicopter if they needed to. We were all freaking scared. We had our weapons taken from us. They asked for our military identification. We gave it to them, obviously, because they have guns in our face. As this is going on, we're going back between these guys as well as what's going on in the background. There's 4 of these trucks, which were F-350s. They were up-armored. They had weapon cases that I've seen before because of something that we've actually loaded weapons into. They also had these containers that was illustrated right here. They had like a cylinder on the front, which is either for oxygen or what I hypothesized was for vacuum sealing, which lead me to suspect that they were smuggling narcotics. Come to find out it's more disturbing than that. It was for people. And it's something that is very hard to see right now, and it's very disheartening. And this is why I'm up here. As that happened, this platform actually rose up off the ground. The top part of the craft actually met it down in the middle. It formed into one solid piece. It floated right above the tree line. Once it got past that tree line, it shot over to the left. I would estimate probably 3, 4, 5,000 miles an hour instantaneous like that. This thing was so fast. They basically had told us to turn around, and they escorted us back up this slope. 1, they told us we were not allowed to look back. 2, that we were not able to talk about this. 2 of the guys were actually talking about either, hey, should we smoke these guys right now? You know, that's what they kept saying. And then why they're going against people like us and even willing to kill servicemen who just even stumbled onto this is just blows my mind, and it's very sick. I'm gonna go ahead and fast track to a couple days later. With my camera was on my rack, a memory card that was in it was out. My battery was out of the camera, missing as well. Mind you, I had my locker secured. Whoever did it knew what the hell happened. Each of the Marines that were with me also had their cell phones taken. One day I had got a call that I needed to go up to the CP, so he informed me, so I had hightailed it up there. There was nobody in the building, except for one gentleman who was wearing Air Force dress blues that was missing a name tag. He had pulled me into an office, and he had said, you are not allowed to tell anybody in your chain of command. I don't care if it's a general. I don't care if it's anybody. You are not allowed to talk about what happened. You can go to prison for this, or you could be killed. He slid over a non-disclosure agreement. I was forced to sign that. I signed it. I tried to ask him who he was, and he would not tell me who he was. I have not spoken about it ever since I was able to recently because what the law passed. This is also an urging for anybody in Washington, D.C. who's a political figure. Please get this under control because there are people who are either being hurt or killed by this, and it's something that needs to be addressed. please.